Good evening. Welcome, beer fans, Brotherhood of Barley. Tonight, there's a lot of vagaries in beer and doing these kind of hangouts and such. Tonight, had planned to do a panel of debuting my Smackdown series. I'm calling you out Smackdown, one-on-one beer competitions. But we sort of arranged it last night post chat of my hangout of the American Adjunct Lager Finals. And the plan was to do Old Milwaukee versus Miller High Life, two American Adjunct lagers, both with 4 points. We have both 4.6% ABV. Thought that would be a pretty even matchup for a Smackdown, just a Smackdown. But unfortunately, Bumpy, who's still with me tonight, and Johnny Lee couldn't find the beer today. Surprise, surprise, beer distribution, that's a whole nother story. So,
Yep. The Old Milwaukee was in the store that I see it at all the time last week.
Yeah.
Went in there today. It wasn't there. I went to 11 other stores. My wife went out to one other store. Nowhere to be found.
Yeah. It's happened to me too. Here today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sometimes I grab it if I see something. Sometimes you can sense that it's not selling. There's a lot of it. They don't rotate the stock. And I say, this is not going to be around very much longer. So, but anyway, decided tonight just to try to, the old saying goes, the show must go on. Or I want to do it anyway. And there's always a way to make lemonade out of lemons. So I'm going to do a single review, the Smackdown myself, but guests go first. So another little project of mine I was thinking about for a hangout was a title, What's Ailing You? Where you get together, everybody brings an ale of whatever style you want to and discuss the difference between ales and lagers, and everybody bring an ale and do it for review. Ailing, A-L-E-I-N-G. So just a little pun. But I thought that was a pretty good idea for a hangout maybe. So we're going to combine that with my Smackdown. And so I think we'll have a good time anyway, despite the hiccup that came when they couldn't find the beer. It's happened to me many times.
True that, William.
Want to welcome, I already mentioned, Jesse Merrill, Bumpy Road Brewing from the great state of New Hampshire. And he has a home brew tonight. Tell us a little bit about that beer.
Okay. So it's a Kolsch style. And I have a Kolsch style that I call Kobe after my dog, Kobe. One of my dogs. I have my other beer, Telly, after my other dog. But this one I call Kobe 19. Kind of going after the whole COVID-19 deal. A little pun. Yeah. And what it is a dry hopped Kolsch style ale. And instead of using just Germanic hops like you typically find in a Kolsch, I used Sriracha Ace because I wanted to give it some nice lemon notes. So I used Sriracha Ace hops in it and also dry hopped it. And that's kind of what it should clear up a little bit more than that. I mean, you can still kind of see through it, but I don't filter out my stuff. But it's got a little bit of a haze, maybe a little bit of a chill haze. Comes out of the keg with a nice big old white head, and it's pretty much a kind of pale gold coloration.
Yeah, that's.
Now there is a fault with this brew, and I'll talk about that as I smell it. Now I do get some of the lemon notes coming out of the Sriracha Ace. It does have a lemon forward aroma from the hops. Problem is that we're stocked up on some food here, and this is my fermentation chamber. But right now it's actually acting as a second fridge. So instead of when I brew my beers and ferment them and set the temperature that I need it to ferment at, I don't have that capability right now with the fridge actually being used as a fridge and a freezer. So I've just been setting it over to the side in my house where I have no control really over I could have done the old ice bucket thing, and keep, I think they call it a swamp bucket, where you take like a towel and you wrap it around, and you have like the cold water, the ice water, and you just remove water and you add ice each day. I could have done all that old school stuff, but I said, you know what? I'm just gonna let it go. And then the temperature fluctuations within the house, up and down, day and night. So it had some pretty drastic temperature changes during fermentation, and pretty high temperatures as well. There was a few days where it was in the 80s here. Well, it was like in the 80s and 90s outside, but it was inside the house. It even got up into the 80s. So it had a very rough fermentation, in which brought on a diacetyl problem.
Okay.
So diacetyl is a chemical compound that's caused from yeast fermentation. It occurs naturally. A lot of times you'll do a diacetyl rest, in which you have your fermentation that you do at a typical, if you want to keep the ale in a range of maybe anywhere from, depends on the yeast really, but using a Kolsch style yeast, it was anywhere from 62 degrees up to 70 degrees Fahrenheit is its comfort zone, basically. And then, so you keep it at a steady temperature within that range. And then after pretty much primary fermentation's done, and it's going to start going through its secondary fermentation, near the end of that secondary fermentation, you want to rack up the temperature a few degrees, 2 to 3 degrees. And what that does is the yeast that's starting to get tired, it kind of gives them a little bit more of a boost, because now they're warming up a little bit more. So it kind of activates them to go through and clean up their byproducts that they made, creating the wort into alcohol. But what diacetyl is actually used in producing the buttery flavors that you'd find in movie theater popcorn. Yeah. So this beer, along with that nice lemon note, the hops came through nice. It's got a strong butter aroma and flavor in it too. So it's pretty much like lemon butter. So it's still, it's been in my keg now for a week. It's still got the same rich buttery flavor and lemon notes. So it's not like disgusting. It's strange. It's not what it's supposed to be. But I'll talk about the mouthfeel on it and all that, because it's a Kolsch style, so it should be pretty light bodied and have a good drying effect. So, and have a little bit of a bitterness.
Yeah, it's a home brew. There's one thing you never want to have is loss of control over any step in the process. That's one area where you need to be sort of control freak to be able to come out the way you want to. And anytime that sort of goes off track, I'm sure that's when you start to get up the undesirable components.
Yeah, this is my first time ever having. I heard about buttery flavored beers and stuff like that, and I was like, wow, I've never experienced that before, and I made my own. And so this is it's very interesting when you're like, holy crap, because it's one thing when you read about something and you never experienced it and you don't really know, but you're like, there's no way that you're actually it's gonna smell and taste like butter. It smells and tastes exactly like movie theater popcorn butter. Of course, with my Sriracha Ace, I added there, it's the lemony butter, but no, it's got the right body to it. It's very light bodied. The carbonation level is pretty much just right. It's very spritzy, and it's got a nice drying effect to the palate. So as far as the body, the mouthfeel, the carbonation level, the lacing and everything that's left on the glass, the look of it. Yeah, I mean, besides not being super clear, because it should be actually super clear, but one of the things, like I said, I don't filter it out, so it will clear over time a little bit more. It will start to really crash out and drop any proteins or anything that are kind of left floating around in there. But it's got everything going for it as far as what the Kolsch style should be, except for that butter note. So it was really just the fermentation issue that I had, not using my fermentation chamber. And then just being lazy and not really caring where the temperatures went with it, that have destroyed this beer. That's kind of ailing me a little bit. It's like if I just took a little bit more care.
This is like a therapy session.
Yeah. But, it's like it's one of those things you kind of have to go through and learn and say, oh, yeah, okay. They kind of give you some guidelines because it can really affect.
Well, everything's a learning experience. Now you know what not to do.
Yeah, I told the wife I'm going to be brewing next week again. I got all my grains, hops, and my yeast and everything to brew for next week. And I told the wife I'm using my fermentation chamber, so we got to figure out where to put this food. Make room in the other fridge.
Yeah. Many times we learn more from our mistakes. It's just important to know what not to do is what to do, and that comes with
Bumpy. I thought you did
wisdom okay. Well, now we'll go to a guest from the Garden State of New Jersey, Alex the Beer Master. What do you have tonight, Alex?
I have this beer right here. It's a very
cherry hibiscus wheat.
Yep, very good beer. And the brewery is, what's this brewery called again, Bumpy? I think it's Creation Creek Brewing or something like that.
I'd have to see it. It's something
Nan Creation Creek or Brewing.
Something Creek.
Yeah. So
Something Creek Brewing Company out of New Jersey.
Yeah, obviously it's the beer I need to send Mr. Bumpy Road so he can review it. But it's a very tasty beer so far. I've started drinking this on my live stream earlier. I like the color. Used to be a little head, but that was a little bit ago. Nice and red, hazy kind of beer. Smells like a cherry. Smells pretty good. Let me taste it. Yeah, I could taste the cherry and all that good stuff. A little sour, a little sweet. I'm definitely getting this beer again. This is a very good beer. It is from New Jersey, as Bumpy has read to me and I read. And it's a very cool can art. I obviously tried another beer, but you'll see that when I review it, that beer. But it's a cool can artwork as well. So, yeah, this is a good, delicious beer.
Alex, do you typically like wheat ales?
Sometimes I do because I like the sweetness of it.
Right.
I like very good. I like sweet beers. I like to give sour beers a chance. I don't remember what sour beer you gave me, Bumpy. I'm trying to think what it was, but I think that was a good beer. But
I gave you Cosmic Bakers.
Yeah, that was a good beer. If you're in the New Hampshire area, please. Oh, Bumpy's looking at his stash.
Yeah, I got you that one too.
That's a good beer.
Briar Weiss.
Yeah, that's a good beer. So if you're in the New Hampshire area, please get those beers as well. I am looking forward to hoping one day night shift coming through Philadelphia, at least whenever this COVID-19 is over. But beyond that, those beers are good. Please get them if you're in that area. This beer, if you're in the area of New Jersey, please get it. It's a very tasty beer.
Glad you're enjoying that one.
Mm-hmm. Let me say this. It might be a good beer for the summer. We're almost in the summer months.
Absolutely. And some places, maybe it's not official summer yet, but it's feeling like it right now in a lot of places. Yes.
And I think this would be a good beer for the summer. Don't you agree, Bumpy?
I haven't had it, but it's a wheat ale. So, yeah. It's usually a lot of times the wheat ales start coming out towards the spring and summertime.
Yeah, so it's very tasty. So that's all I got.
They're usually lighter in ABV and crisp, and
Oh yeah, I don't know about the ABV on here. I haven't seen the ABV on here. Otherwise, I would have said something to you earlier on my channel. But
Bob McCurd asked me what yeast I used. I can't remember the name of it because it was Imperial yeast that I used, and it was a Kolsch. It was their Kolsch style, but I don't remember what they called it because they come out with some funny names. I don't usually get Imperial, so
this is the ABV. I found it now. It is 5.4 by volume alcohol.
And we got a comment on here says it's Neshaminy Creek Brewing Company.
Yeah, thank you, Neshaminy Creek Brewing. But I'm just saying, the ABV is 5.4 by volume. I guess that's the
IBU listing. Is it listed? I'm sure it'll be a low number, but
no, it's 5.4 by volume.
Okay. Well, but the IBV, is it list the IBV?
I thought that is the IBV 5.5 by volume.
IBUs.
Oh, the IBUs. Oh, I don't know about that one.
I'm sure it'd be on the low end of the. But
not all. A lot of breweries and stuff have gotten away from putting IBU on any labeling.
They have. I noticed that they say people. It's become too much of a factor. Really, they think that people prejudge beers based on the IBU when it's a lot of other factors are more important. And I've noticed a trend toward that myself. It's more like it's not all about the numbers, whether you're talking about car, engine, horsepower, statistics in sports. It's not all about the numbers. And I think it's a trend. And it's probably because people they'll look at that IBU and IBUs, some people, the first thing pops in bitterness. Well, right. IBUs, a lot of flavoring. A lot of the craft beer flavoring comes from the hops too. It's all in relation plus to the ABV, the ratio. If you bump up a beer like in the double, triple IPA category, you're going to have to bump up the bitterness to keep pace. But it might not be any more perception or taste any more bitter, but you have to do that to scale up.
Yeah.
So,
that's the thing too, is there's different hops that give off a different type of bitterness. There's some hops that, like I say, they have a harsh bitterness, whereas some hops that they'll still bitter. They still have the alpha acids and stuff that will make the bitterness units go up, but they don't always come off as perceived as high as you might think. Like if look at Lagunitas Hop Stupid, which is like a 6.5% ale that's got 100 IBUs. That it's hoppy, it's kind of bitter, but it does not taste like it's much over 70 IBUs.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Bumpy, give us your taste impressions about that beer. You've been sipping on it in its condition.
Yeah, it's got a lot of the qualities that you look for in a Kolsch style ale, except for the butter. I think that if I actually fermented this the right way, the way I would have preferred to do it, I think that I would have had a fantastic Kolsch style ale in my hands. The only fault in this really is the buttery flavor, but it's not disgusting. It's not a drain pour. I think the bitterness on it is maybe just a wee bit higher than you might think of if you drink a Kolsch. But it is, like I said, a dry hopped one as well. So that hoppiness does really come off a little bit more. But the lemon is coming off nice off the Sriracha Ace. I was a little bit worried when I actually brewed it, because when I first put the Sriracha Ace into my boil, it smelled like a dill pickle. So I was like, oh no, I'm gonna make a pickle beer, which, hey, maybe that would have worked with the butter flavor that ended up coming out through the fermentation. I would have had a pickle butter. Yeah. No, the flavors on it are good, besides the butter. The mouthfeel, the way that it's crisp, dry, it's refreshing still. I think I would have had maybe one of my better brews that I have actually made with this one. So I'll have to do it again and just ferment it.
So it's not a lost cause. It's not
a lost cause. I'm not dumping it. Like I said, it's strange tasting butter, but it's not disgusting. There's actually a beer out there called Harry Potter's Butterbeer, and they intentionally give it the diacetyl so that it will have that buttery flavor. It sells, I guess. People do buy it, but
does that probably
because it's Harry Potter.
Does that alcohol in it? Bumpy?
Yeah.
It has alcohol. The Harry Potter beer has alcohol in it.
Yeah, not the one that they make at. They have a fake one or whatever that they do at like the convenient parks or whatever. They just kind of make like a buttery milkshake or something. I don't know what they do there, but yeah, there's a Harry Potter butterbeer.
Now, where do I get the Harry Potter
we'll
beer?
Have to look at it.
That has alcohol in it. I would love to try it. I've never heard of it. We'll have to do a review on it, Bumpy, if we can get it.
I don't think we can. I don't think it's around here. I've never had it myself. I was just looking up. I was looking up all the diacetyl information, and it talked about Harry Potter butterbeer being diacetyl. So I'm hoping it has alcohol. It might not. I really don't know, but I figured it would. Harry Potter butter beer. Butterscotch beer.
I'll have to try that with you too, Bumpy. Butterscotch beer.
Got a nice comment on here. Let's just say it's a flaw, but it's no bumpy dumpy.
Right.
Not a. Here's a comment that Kevin Mitchell said, I saw that Harry Potter in Disney, Florida.
There's a bunch of butterbeer recipes out there, and it doesn't look like it's actual beer.
Oh.
It's a cream soda that they put like butter flavor in.
Well, that sucks. You want to have alcohol in
So
it.
I actually haven't seen it as an actual
Damn it.
beer, but there is the butterscotch beer, which is the same thing. The diacetyl will give off butterscotch or buttery flavors.
And it does have alcohol in it, though, right?
I think those ones would.
Bumpy, while we're on the topic of ales, the ale portion of the program, when you said you had a cold, a few other ones come to mind for me, like the blonde ale, golden ales, the Helles. These lighter body, lighter ABV, lighter flavor craft beer. How does yours, like a cold, stack up against some of these other ones? Some of the differences that you would note between that and a blonde golden ale, maybe a Helles, something of that sort.
The Kolsch itself almost resembles a lager. I think, or a Pilsner. They're pretty similar, except it is fermented at higher temperatures. I think they will kind of let them do a lagering stage. Typically, I didn't lager mine, but it's pretty much fermented more closer to ale temperatures at, like I said, the 62 to 70 degree range.
I've thought about lager every time I've drank one. I said this is very similar to a lager.
Yeah, it was because they're only brewed in Cologne, Germany, to actually be considered a Kolsch ale, and it was kind of there because they're in like a warmer climate there in Germany. So when all the lagers and stuff were taking hold, lagers, pilsners were all taking hold as the new style to brew. They kind of didn't, they said we're not gonna follow suit because those beers would be harder to make in that region. So they have it closer. it's kind of close to like a lager flavor and everything, but it's just more. It's done with like an ale yeast.
Yeah.
So it'd be like a steam beer.
Yeah.
You know, a steam beer is what it's used. They use lager yeast, but they do it at higher temperatures and kind of so right around there. It's so light in malt flavor and stuff like that. Use Pilsner malt and everything too, so it's kind of got the crackery kind of malt backbone.
And then you have the Helles, another light, or the Golden Blonde Ale. I would put those sort of under the same umbrella. They're not exactly the same, but they're.
Hey, William, I really enjoyed my beer as well, my friend. This is it was tasty. I would get it again. I got a couple more cans. I need to review one of them, but
So
pretty good.
Cherry Hibiscus gets a big thumbs up.
Yes, it's a little sour too. I mean, that's the way. I mean, Bumpy likes sour beers too.
That's the best I could find for the Harry Potter butter beer.
Is that what alcohol in it?
I don't know. 4-pack butterscotch beer.
Butterscotch.
I'll have to check it out then. We'll have to check it out, Bumpy.
29.
Wow.
So I click on it, but I don't think it doesn't really tell me. Can't see an ABV.
What's the brewery? I mean, what's the company? If it's the store, you can always call the store and ask them if that's alcohol in it.
Oh, it does say non-alcoholic. Okay. Yeah, so there is no alcohol.
Damn it.
There's maybe 0.05%.
Yeah.
Damn it, that ruins the fun, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay $30 for.
What's ailing you, Alex? That's what's ailing Alex now, that beer has no alcohol in it. It just
well, you know what?
I can hear the letdown. It's like,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got when I looked up the Distiltel thing, it talked about the Harry Potter butter beer having a strong. I was just thinking, oh yeah, it's gonna be because you hear beer and you think there's alcohol in it. And
yeah. I mean,
then I remembered after I said it, I remember thinking, wait, they sell this. They have these things at like Disneyland or something where they give it to kids. I'm like, maybe I was wrong. Yeah, there's no.
Well, you do know that Disney World, you can buy beer now. It's not. You can still buy beer for the adults now. So
when someone says beer, it's not a ridiculous assumption to think it has alcohol in it. So
I mean, well, if you're thinking about root beer, you wouldn't think about alcohol. But although there is root beer with alcohol in it,
not your father's.
Yeah, not your father's root beer. That's
best damn root beer. If they still make that, I'm not sure.
So there is alcohol in root beer. So let's make that clear.
It's
pretty good stuff, though. I mean, yes, we're not into that right now because we're obviously in ales. But when you drink the Not Your Father root beer, it tastes exactly like root beer. You cannot tell that there's alcohol even in it. It is delicious.
Yeah, if you want to learn about Kolsch's, I mean, this is a nice book to read. They're very, very short book from Eric Warner. Just simply called.
Yeah, I got
techniques and recipes.
I got a book I picked up at Total Wine one, and it's got a pretty good summary of a lot of the styles. It didn't go into depth as much as I'm sure that does, but it was pretty interesting to read about those.
William, is it okay if I get another beer?
Absolutely.
It's not going to be any of these fancy beers. It's just going to be any beer.
Any beer. I mean, if it's beer, it's fine.
Okay.
And this for people to tune, we toss around the terms of lagers, ales, and stuff, but I guess the basic fundamental differences is the fermentation, the length, duration of fermentation, and the top versus bottling fermentation. Those would be the main two. Just bottom line difference between the two styles or two classifications of beers, and someone like a Ginny Cream Ale, they sort of tried to bridge the gap. They say the flavor of an ale, but the smoothness of a lager. So they had their cream ale.
Right.
Generally, you're on one side or the other. You have
the
top
The funny thing about that too is, so like through most of my reading and everything and my understanding, as being a home brewer and just trying to gain knowledge from the homebrewing perspective, was there's only two different types of beer. You have your lager, you have your ales. And then there comes all of a sudden you're out purchasing beer, and there are beers that apparently are called lagers that they use ale yeast, which goes against everything that I had learned. But they considered it a lager because of the lagering temperature that they actually they lagered it, so they considered it a lager. Like it went through its fermentation, but then they lagered it, so they called it a lager. But it's like, but you used ale yeast, how can it be a lager? But yeah, so different regions and companies and stuff say different things about. So I'm just like, it's one of those things that just causes arguments. It's just out there to cause arguments because you get somebody that's like that. Well, no, it got lager. It's the lager, but they used ale yeast, so it's an ale. Oh, it's just bar fight stuff.
Yeah, and when you get it down to like flavor on one side, smoothness on the other. Well, obviously there are obviously a lot of exceptions to that rule, but I guess there's a measure when people start getting invested in the beer, starting learning about beer. I guess to be able to sort of divide it between the lager and ales, I guess it's helpful for the newbie. But after you drank a few beers, you realize, well, one is not exclusively different than the other one. You can have smoothness and flavor in a lager. You can have smoothness and flavor in an ale. It's not never the twain shall meet. So but the cream ale was, and I think the cream ale is only only a rare American style beer that was originated in America. Very, very rare. And I like the cream ale. I really do. To me, it's sort of like bridges.
Cream ale beers. I mean, cream ale sodas or beers. They're delicious. I like cream ale stuff. At least, wait a minute. I thought you meant cream sodas. I've never had cream ales yet. I'll have to check that out. Thank you.
This comment here really caught my attention. Kim Mitchell, lager and ale. Kim Mitchell was the leader of a legendary Canadian rock band, Max Webster. They never broke out in America, but they were hugely popular in Canada. And
nice.
I've posted on some of the music Facebook groups, I've posted some of his work, Kim Mitchell. He has some other drinking songs too. I discovered Kim Mitchell and Max Webster on AccuRadio. I would listen. They have all these categories of music, Canadian rock. Sometimes I would listen to it while I was eating my dinner. And that turned me on to a lot of Canadian bands. When I saw Kim Mitchell, Lager and Ale, actually, I've listened to the album that song is on recently. So thumbs up for that comment there.
I still can't believe it was just me and you bumping on my thing. That was freaking weird. That was crazy though.
So I think I'll pull out my two beers.
Hey William, did you ever have this beer? Because it's a very good beer.
I've had that many times.
Awesome beans. Let's see what kind of beers you got, my friend.
You got the right beers.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to do the debut of the Smackdown series, where we take.
I got the wrong beers the last time, which was really I wasn't happy. But then William said, "Don't beat yourself."
You had one right.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I did that. But then William said, "Don't beat yourself over the head anymore. You're good."
This is a one-on-one competition where one beer calls the other one out and says, "I'm better than you," or it's a challenge. Tonight we have Old Milwaukee, which is the little brother of Schlitz. Schlitz Brewing Company. They needed Schlitz Brewing Company. This is their budget beer. It would be comparable to Budweiser having Busch as their budget beer. These two have, they battled it. At one time during the 70s, Budweiser and Schlitz battled it out for supremacy in the beer world as far as sales. Eventually, for a lot of reasons, Budweiser pulled ahead and left the pack behind. But in addition to the flagship beers of Schlitz and Budweiser, they had these, like I said, Old Milwaukee budget beer on the Schlitz side, Busch And before that, Busch Bavarian was the Budweiser budget beer. So the little brother of Schlitz is taking on the champagne of beers, Miller High Life, an iconic brand for the Miller Brewing Company.
I never had
both of these at 4% ABV, calorie count 140 to 145. So the tail of the tape is they're very similar, but some may remember old Milwaukee if they are a little older. The Swedish bikini team, the ads back in the early 90s. I'm sure a lot of males remember them for sure. And then in 2013 there was a series of commercials done by Will Ferrell of Saturday Night Live fame. He did some old Milwaukee commercials. And but the website says Old Milwaukee since 1849, but the Wikipedia says the brand came into being in the 1930s. When you get into the history of whiskey and beer brands, it gets a little bit fuzzy sometimes about the history of some of these brands. Needless to say, these are both legacy brands. So I'll do a pour and then we'll get right into the Smackdown.
Just to say, William, I've never had Schlitz. I've been trying to find Schlitz, the regular beer. I've been trying to find Schlitz, the Bull, Schlitz Bull Ice, Red Bull. I'm trying to find all that, including the flavor Schlitz line as well. I haven't found neither of them yet.
And the pinup series for Old Milwaukee, which they have discontinued now. They've gone to a new can design. We haven't gotten it yet on the shelves at the beer stores. But the pinup series is officially over. But you have this and the Miller High Life. So I'll pour these on. Drop the can, but that's just an empty Dale's Pale Ale. No problem there.
You're good there, William.
I thought I might have an ale after this, so I brought a Dale's Pale Ale.
I'm going to drink a Miller with you.
Okay.
I was able to find these easily.
Yeah, Miller High Life the word is ubiquitous. It's everywhere. There's not much of a problem.
Now, William, since you couldn't find the other beers, or not you were able to find it, but other people that couldn't find it, will you do a revisit since you didn't get a chance to do that series today with the other beer?
Oh, that's always a possibility, Alex. Definitely. There's so many endless possibilities when you're drinking beer as far as taste testing.
And I love the endless possibilities because you never know what to find. I love it. We should do an ice beer challenge, William.
That's on my radar too.
Let me know.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, I use these little tube taster glasses or little things. They're really nice for these events like this. And these look
they look similar,
very in appearance. And these have very good clarity, these little glasses. So they're probably a little bit lighter than they actually are. I've noticed this. The glasses can make a beer one shade darker just by the difference in the clarity of them. But some nice stream of bubbles on both of these. And so I'll give the sniff off here. Sniff and sip.
Ronnie S. Says that he has an ale and he's backstage. Kev Mitchell wanted to know if he could join as well. But I don't think he's backstage. He was looking for the link.
Okay. I'll see if I can.
Hello?
Hey, Ronnie. What's up, my friend? Appreciate you.
What's up? So is this still the ale? What's ailing you show?
Yeah, I think. Isn't it?
I'll try to grab the link on there.
I got a sour ale.
Actually, I had that earlier, just a few minutes ago. There,
You had the same one?
no,
Oh,
but similar. Similar. I had this.
that doesn't look similar.
No, I said similar, meaning it's a cherry beer, not the beer you have. No, that's
Cool.
all.
I couldn't find any old Milwaukee.
There it is.
I did a little bit of looking around for
The
it.
link is in now. Just hang out for a little while, Ron. Excuse me, Ronnie. I'm going to do my little Smackdown,
Okay.
and then we get. What do you have tonight?
I got the Sierra Nevada called Wild Little Thing. It's a sour ale. It says slightly sour ale.
Go back. I'll do the right here. We got the Miller High Life. If I did a blind on this one, I would have to disqualify because the aroma gives it away right away. It's the grainy sort of cream corn. I think that's the DMS component in the Miller High Life, more vegetal. So I would have to say, like I said, I couldn't do a blind. Someone would have to hand me these two beers on a blind taste test and blindfold me and not allow me to sniff them because the aroma gives it away.
True that.
And the old Milwaukee, a little more generic, just sort of like a keg beer, with what I would describe this as. Not surprisingly, it's a little bit like a toned down Schlitz with the less of that little hop action going on. So the little brother doesn't get quite the flavor profile that the big brother does.
Are they the same ABV?
4.6. There are floating room numbers on the internet, but they're right at that 4.6. It's difficult when they don't list it on the official website. So sometimes when you trying to get third party, figures, they can vary a bit, but they're right at that 4.6, and the calorie count 140 to 145. So basically, it's about as close statistically as you're going to get. So for the Smackdown, cheers.
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 Pretty refreshing. It's a hot night here. I haven't turned my air conditioning on yet for the season, but
William, don't worry. I'm in the same boat as you. We go outside right now. It's very humid.
But this is the perfect spot where these beers hit the spot. This is their sweet spot scenario. This one is very refreshing, crisp. The champagne of beers, not surprisingly. And the palate follows the nose. There is that element of the vegetal. Definitely. Sort of some people call it more of a cooked cabbage, cream corn, maybe a mix, but it's definitely there. But obviously, with a Miller Brewing Company, they're doing this by intentional. It's intentional because they can brew anything they want to as far as style wise. It's a natural part of the brewing process, the DMS. So I think they think this gives the beer a little bit of character. It's not sometimes about perfection. It's maybe a little bit something that maybe makes it stick out from the crowd a little bit. And Miller High Life is one of my old faithful, one of my go-tos. It's available
Me too.
in different size configurations. Like I said, it's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. And this one is not bringing me any surprises. So now I'll go to the little brother of Schlitz, Old Milwaukee. Beer built better, I think, is the theme on the website.
Hey, William, I didn't know that that was the little brother of Schlitz.
It is. But they're both now under the Pabst umbrella.
Is it considered a Pabst legacy brand?
Well, not a Pabst legacy brand. It's just a legacy brand.
But it's owned by Pabst.
Yeah, it's owned now by Pabst. But for much of its history, it was tied to the hip with Schlitz until Schlitz was bought out by Stroh's. Subsequently, Stroh's was bought out by Pabst, and Pabst began assimilating all of these legacy brands. And at the end, they wound up with 40 or 50 of them. They only listed them on the website, but they
don't distribute them too well.
The distribution is an issue. But
it is an issue because I've been trying to find Schlitz and all the Schlitz line, no matter if it's because they made new Schlitz flavor beers as well, and I want to try. I want to try the original Schlitz. I want to try all the Schlitz stuff, and I can't find it. So, I mean, I can find it somewhere else in another.
I think you got to go to North Carolina.
Well, no, I think I can go to ShopRite or somewhere in another town, but that's it. I mean, as of this moment.
I think the nose and the palate are in conjunction on this one too.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll add have a fifth member tonight.
What?
Who I've never met, but
Legendary Kev.
Yep. Yeah, I appreciate him.
Bob,
how you doing, buddy? Mate, Alex, Bumpy, Ronnie.
Where are you located? Where's your location?
Oh, I need to. Oh, sorry, I'm getting a reverb. I need to cancel that. Shut that one off. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I've spoke to you before. I think William a long time ago. In one of the
Kevin, he asked you where you're located, though.
Sorry, UK.
Okay, as I get older, my memory fades. So if you
mine does as well, mate.
Sure we did.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Well, cheers tonight.
I think it was about a month ago we chatted on one of Alex's things. Yeah.
I've gone through a lot health-wise in the last 15 months, so I've had a brain fog from my chemo treatments. So that may,
I hope you're doing all right, man.
I'm doing better. I wouldn't be here. I'm thankful.
Yeah.
But glad to have you on board. And what are you drinking tonight?
Well, all I've got is Heineken, right? But I'm a home brewer, right?
Okay.
I'm a home brewer and I've run out of beer, but I kegged a beer yesterday, home brew a stout. So I'm going to pour one of them 24 hours after putting it in the keg.
Try that stout there, Kevin.
It's not going to be great. It's a stout, isn't it? But, needs must when you're desperate for beer, Like empty glass. There you go. But we'll see. I'm going to pour it in a minute. Give it a few more minutes, yeah. I just stuck the tap on it.
I just had a memory bulb go off. We spoke after post chat at one of Bumpy's Baldy Mondays.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah,
fog is lifting. The brain
Dio's or Alex or it's one of them. Yeah, there you go.
So I'll continue with my
Smackdown.
The palate and the nose are in pretty much conjunction on this one too. This just tastes like a toned down Schlitz beer. It's just like a middle of the pack American adjunct lager. Nothing distinguishing about it. I would probably put this one in a pack like a sort of like a Natty Boh.
Natty Boh?
National Bohemian.
Oh.
Bohemian lager.
Adjunct lagers. It's got more flavor than a Bush or a Rolling Rock, but it doesn't have as much flavor as the Miller High Life overall. Nor does it have the mouth. For the Miller High Life at 4.6, I think it punches above its weight a little bit as far as the heft of the mouthfeel for an adjunct lager. Or I think the Old Milwaukee's a little thinner, but some people might interpret that to mean it's smooth, it's balanced, nothing sticks out. And we're trying to sell a beer to someone, that's maybe they just drink the 5 o'clock whistle blows at work and they want to come home and have a beer. They probably don't want an imperial style. They want a light, refreshing, crisp, clean tasting beer. And something like that at its price point, that's their target customer.
Yeah.
The working man.
The working man's beer. This one is a definitive working man's beer. But
I'll check my beer out. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
See if I can pour one.
I'll have a refill here, and I think I know which one I prefer and whether the Smackdown has been successful for Milwaukee or not.
Dio wants somebody to say Dio. Does somebody want to say Dio?
D-O?
James, Dio, or
You got to say it 3 times?
or Drunken
Cheers,
One.
Dio.
D-O, D-O, D-O.
Dio. Is that Dio as in
Drunken One.
Drunken One or Ronnie James Dio?
You're welcome. Appreciate it. Ron, I'm surprised you didn't join on my pierogies thing, but
I was out. I went out to eat. I just got home.
oh, you were out with your wife? Nice, awesome. Beans.
Yeah.
Did you have pierogies when you were out?
Where'd you guys go?
No, but I posted a picture of a pretty good
Oh,
looking
you had like
plate.
salmon or something, right?
Yeah, it was mahi.
Oh, mahi time.
It was good.
Do you have Instagram there, Ron?
No, I don't have Instagram.
Okay, well, I'm not going to put a picture.
Feedback, Ron.
Oh, okay.
You going electric?
Yeah, Electric Ron. Ronnie.
Well, it's got a head on it. 24 hours. Well, it should have. But,
Yeah, like I said, the mouthfeel on the Miller High Life, it just has a more body, more heft to its substance. At 4.6, it tastes a little bit more like it'd be like a 5% beer, really. I think that's why many people really like the Miller High Life. Can compete with some of the Coors and the Budweisers as far as flavor profile. Old Milwaukee.
I'd be so disappointed if you like the old Milwaukee more than the Miller High Life since I couldn't get it.
Hey, Bumpy,
What's up, Alex?
I'm surprised Brandon didn't go live tonight. I thought he would go live tonight after my live stream.
But I know Trish said she was having. They were all having time off, sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good to get away from YouTube once in a while and go to bed at that right time.
Well, not only that, instead of going to bed, they just hang out and just watch a movie or something. And that's what you should do. I appreciate them both. I still talk to Brandon, though, Bumpy.
Yeah.
I have decided.
Because they aren't on YouTube anymore as much.
I will hold up the winner.
Okay. And the winner is.
Miller High Life.
Oh, man.
Smackdown, it was a decent effort, but it can't take down the Miller High Life. I think the fact is the Schlitz, the Old Milwaukee is saddled by the fact that it's intentionally brewed at a little lower. Like I said, it's a little bit of a toned down Schlitz.
Hey, William, is it possible you can get Schlitz and possibly do the Old Milwaukee?
Actually, I had one of my subscribers today email me and tell me where I can get Schlitz.
Okay.
In North Carolina, so I'm going to be getting a trip to get some Schlitz. I haven't had. It's been slowly disappearing from my immediate local area, and so I'm glad to know now I can still get it.
Yeah, because I would like to see if you can do a review on Schlitz and the beer you're drinking now, which is the Miller High Life, and see what would win. Would the original Schlitz win, or would Miller High Life win?
Right.
That's
So
what it's all about.
I'll have to smack down the Old Milwaukee.
Yes, you're gonna smack down the Schlitz and see if you like
Old
Schlitz
Milwaukee.
better.
It was a valid effort, but it can't.
Theo.
It's not Miller High Life. And the thing is, the Miller High Life is on sale almost every week at the supermarkets. If you
But
read,
what I'm trying to say, William, can you review that with Schlitz and Miller High Life and see which one would win? I want to know.
okay,
He's already told you.
inquiring minds, we'll try to get to that. But so we've got the Smackdown finished, and
You
I'll
like
ask-
Schlitz, and
I'll
I
ask
know you
Bob.
do, William.
I'll ask Bob to give the impressions of his beer.
Good.
Tell us a little about it and what you think.
Bob. Hey, how's my audio here?
Sorry? No,
It's good. It's good now. You don't. You
I
don't
took
have to
I took the headphones off, so I just have it.
Yeah, you're
Right,
fine.
good. Maybe that's the trick. I'll just not use headphones.
You're good. I don't hear nothing, my friend. You're back to normal.
Normally it's the other way around. People can't hear because you have headphones off or headphones on. It ruins it, you know. So I think it depends on your PC and audio and everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables involved in
Yeah.
just one little thing off.
Sure is, my friend.
Yeah. Like, I can't understand American, but I'm still here.
Oh yeah, well, honestly, when you were here a couple months ago, Kevin, it was kind of hard to hang out. I was trying to hang out with you, but it was just so hard to hear you. It was so annoying.
Oh, my accent. Well, yeah, actually, no, that was my PC.
Yeah, it wasn't you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you used to have really low volume.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, actually, on this PC, the one I'm in downstairs here, Alex can't hear when I do screen share. He can't hear what I screen share like on YouTube. Can you, Alex? If I go to the old computer upstairs where no one could hear me on volume, he can hear me fine. That's weird. It's really weird.
Like if I ask him to show me something on his screen share, I can hear that.
Upstairs, not down here. Yeah.
Right.
Not the other way around. Yeah.
It's weird.
Bob,
Fine. Right.
It's a mystery, my friend. One day we'll solve it.
I don't think so. Yeah. I don't think we'll ever.
I know how to solve it. We get it. You get another computer upstairs, and we'll be okay. That's how I solve that.
Okay.
Alex, you're a genius.
Come on, Kevin. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, you are right, actually. Yeah.
You never know.
Let me just swap the PCs around. That's perfect.
so I've got the Smackdown. We'll
That's
go
what I
back
need
to
to
the
do.
what's ailing you portion of the program.
Sorry. Yeah.
I want to give a plug for that hangout idea. So, Ronnie, you got a
Okay, I got an ale.
product.
I got the Sierra Nevada Wild Little Thing. It's called slightly sour ale,
Sounds good.
5.5%. Out of Chico, California. This was canned on March 22nd of this year.
Too much.
So I poured it about 5 minutes ago. Got a nice red color to it.
Absolutely red. That is
Oh yeah.
red.
Had a little tiny bit of a head, but that's gone.
A little bit there still.
It's got that
Maybe
yeasty
I'm
smell that the sours usually will have. I think it's a yeasty smell. They all have it.
Mm.
And it's got that slight tart taste, as most sours also have. Not much different here. I don't know why it's red. I've never really had a red sour.
The cherry. Red?
Yeah, it looks kind of like a wine color, but it doesn't taste much different than any other sours that I've had.
Are there any fruit flavors in it?
Maybe like a berry. Oh well, yeah. It's supposed to have guava, hibiscus, and strawberry.
All right. So hibiscus, I've seen beers I've had that have had hibiscus.
And it's red.
They kind of have a purplish hue to them. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's coloring or something, but then strawberry, they might have just added some type of dye to do that, but I don't know.
Right. So it's all ale brewed with natural flavors. So it's natural. It doesn't say anything about the coloring. I know Ron likes to point that out most of the times.
Yeah,
don't see it.
but Ron, I also have one too. Hibiscus beers too, which is a flower that I didn't even know.
Yeah, I've had hibiscus juice, which I actually like. And now to think about it, it is usually like reddish. So
Yeah,
that
I
makes
didn't,
sense.
I didn't know why it was red this beer, but obviously Bumpy said that's what it possibly looks like.
Oh, okay. So you got a pretty similar one.
Yeah. So it was a good beer though. I liked it. I have more I have to review on my channel. I have to review this beer because I drink two. I drink the back to the other beer on my channel.
Back to the Future Star one here. Back to the reality. Back to reality.
Yeah, it's still based off of the Back to the Future because that's for whatever the car is called, Furion, whatever it's called. I don't know.
DeLorean.
Yeah, there we go, DeLorean.
John DeLorean. You got a comment here.
Orange.
Ozzy.
25 ounce natty
I
ice.
just finished
No,
the
40
25 ounce
pounder.
natural ice. And
Yeah, I
about-
am drinking Natty Ice. It was a very good. I like Natty Ice now.
I think that was about half hour ago that comment was. but
Nice,
yeah.
Alex.
That's an
Yeah,
excellent
Alex, you
combination
never.
of natural ice, Founder's Porter.
Is that your first time having it, Alex?
That's beer diversity.
A couple of days ago was my first time. I had a 30 pack of it. I still have more.
30? Wow.
Nice,
How many got
man.
left? Two?
It's pretty good.
No, I'm not drinking anymore because I've
And,
already.
Alex, if anybody ever asks you to step into the DeLorean, don't do it because it's straight to the gas chambers.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. But no, I've already drank 3 beers. I don't know if I'm going to drink any more today because.
Alex, I think you had 4.
Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 beers. I just counted.
And the next one is 4. There you go.
If I had another one, yeah. But I finally drank the beer with you guys, and I finally drank the beer on my channel with Kevin.
Yes, exactly. Like the 10,000 years we've been hanging out, you've never had a beer with me.
Well, when is that? Tonight? This Schlitz review?
Yeah, the first ever, probably. The first time he's ever had 2 beers. At least, yeah.
Yeah,
2
but
beers.
well, now that I'm happy for next Friday because William can join because it became anything on as of right now. It's going to be anything.
Yeah.
William Kempley because William actually joined one time. It was freaking amazing. Can't wait for him to join maybe next Friday.
So, are we giving grades for these things, William?
What was the IBU? Did they list the IBU on that one?
No, I don't see them listed on the can.
You
My
mentioned about-
homebrew was 5.78.
I'd like to make a note when you mentioned about Chico, California.
Yeah.
They also have a brewery in North Carolina. So if you're in Florida, you probably got your beer from Asheville, North Carolina.
Oh, well, I don't think it says that.
But they do.
No, he knows by the codes.
Oh, do you? I can show you. Maybe.
Close it. Wow, too much beer in there.
I could read it.
Yeah.
All right, so it says PKGD, so 031220, and it says
That's
M,
packaging.
yeah, M1254. So is that Monday 1254?
I think that one is brewed in North Carolina.
12 from
I
there.
think so. They use I think they use a Julian code on theirs. These things are hard. You got to be a CIA agent to decipher these things.
Yeah.
I learned to do it pretty well, but it took a long time.
So he used the Julian calendar.
I mean, they do. They use a Julian. They do everything. It's called obfuscation. They don't want you to know what it is.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, so they can leave old beer out, which is a shame because everybody deserves to have the best representation of that product that you can. A fresh beer always beats an old beer.
Well, this is a pretty good code. It's pretty straightforward. It's from March 12th.
Okay, well they what I like is when they give both a canning date and a expiration date. They give you
Yeah, I think that's pretty rare.
and how old it actually is. Some of these
You don't
beers,
see
like,
both of them too often.
like the Heineken, they allow 1 year. They allow 1 year for freshness date because it's imported another country.
Oh yeah, I got a one from Polliner, and it's got 1 year. They have the canned on date and the expiration date, and it's from November, and it's good until November 2020. They give it 1 full year.
They allow that. So you have to determine how close to that 1 year you think it's still fresh.
Yeah, mine's in its half life.
Hey, for the 4th, 21. There you go. Heineken.
And on yours, the second line, it's got the L, which means lot code, and then they use a Julian code after that. Is it 014? Is it L1014? Okay.
Yeah, it's a L
2.
L014.
Yeah. And what's that? 2021? 21, yeah. But this is Heineken, yeah. I don't normally drink Heineken. It's not bad, actually. It's probably similar to Stella,
There is a brewery. They have a Sierra Nevada. They have one in Asheville, North Carolina. So yours probably came there. But
it's not the worst English beer. But
so what is it about Asheville, North Carolina, that there's a lot of beer brewed over there in that city?
Water, climate, the employment conditions. It's just a very lucrative place to come to. And like Dale's Pale Ale, the company founder, he's a big guy in the mountain. He makes trips to mountain bike in western North Carolina. So that was a natural place for Dale's Pale Ale. That was a natural place for them to have their second brewery. So sometimes it's just everything comes together. And actually, they built a mountain bike track for people to come in, recreational facility to come and enjoy. But it's a beautiful part of the state. You got the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Blue Ridge Parkway, moderate temperatures in the summertime. Sometimes average day 75 degrees. It's just
so it's inland. It's not close to the Atlantic.
No, in North Carolina we have the mountains to the east, the Atlantic Ocean to the west. We have the mountains. I'm sitting right in the middle, so you can take 1 day road trips and enjoy the beach or the mountains. So it's really nice that you can get that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Difference. It's really cool that you can have.
Yeah. Got some Dale's Pale Ale right here, William.
Dale's Pale. There you go. There you go, Alex.
Since we're on the ale top, this is the new can design for the Dale's Pale Ale.
Again, William knows everything.
That's nothing to do with Dale Earnhardt, is it? I'm just asking because I'm a UK guy. What's NASCAR? Dale's Pale. Is that nothing to do with me? Isn't it?
Dale
Earnhardt? No, I don't think.
Dale Catch is the owner, and they call it Dale's Pale Ale because it rhymes with Dale. It's actually an IPA.
Right, okay.
But it's phonetically it sounds better to say Dale's Pale Ale.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Dale's IPA doesn't sound the same, does it?
But as I mentioned, I said the owner, he was in the mountain biking lot, Dale Catch's.
Right.
And so that's why it's called Dale's. But it's,
I don't know if I'll get this again, though.
I don't know. Wow. I've never heard you say that ever.
Alex, you think it's bitter? Pretty bitter.
I've never heard you say. I don't think.
I like bitter beers. I mean, I might get it again, but I got other beers I want to try anyway. So I don't know. It all depends. But I like the juicy ones. I like the juicy
Alex, I think we found one you don't like. That's weird. Exactly. Normally it's great, fantastic, blah blah blah. Yeah. Never ever seen you have a beer that you've not liked. Oh.
I mean, well, now actually it's good now. But
there you go. There you go.
But I don't know, but maybe because I have other beers in this glass. But
maybe that didn't taste on your palate,
It actually tastes good, but I'm not crazy about it. But I am definitely going to be trying every single Oscar Blues beers. Every beer is going to get a chance no matter what.
As it should.
The Dale's Pale Ale, was that one that was considered like one of the original IPAs from the early 80s?
It's an OG. It's an OG, original gangster. That, along with the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, probably are two that really popularized that beer. If there was a Craft Beer Hall of Fame, I think both of those will definitely be first ballot inductees, just for the impact that they had in the craft beer movement. And many people have moved past them. It's like, well, they were good in their day, but we want the latest, greatest.
Yeah, I'm sure they were pretty different back in 1980 compared to Budweiser and Schlitz.
Yeah, now they want the triple IPA Red Velvet Cake Ale. Red Velvet Cake. bourbon barrel
Did
stout.
you just said red velvet cake? I love red velvet cake. Thank you, William.
But
Now I have to look that up.
they have expanded quite a bit because many of these new craft beer drinkers, they're called.
That's okay, William. I can always have you send me some of that beer.
A lot of the craft beer drinkers. Brand.
I'm always begging.
You're always begging.
Yeah, Kev, how'd your stout turn out?
Yeah, 1 day old. Yeah, it's a bit raw, isn't it? A bit green. It's all right. I need at least another 4 weeks.
Yeah, give it another 4 weeks.
Yes,
You'll fall in love with it.
nothing else. So
You'll fall in love with it, William.
Will,
Kevin
I
William.
wanted to ask you, are you going to be doing the wild card with Busch Beer for the winner of the AAL tournament?
I'm thinking more toward doing a ale Final Four.
Okay, so the AAL is over now. That's it. No wild card.
I could bring it. I could do whatever I want to with Busch, but I might want to switch over to the other side. I'll tell people tonight that I put together a tentative Final Four. It would be.
Yeah, I read that. I saw that.
For those who don't have access to the private chat rooms, it would be the Bell's.
That sounds cool.
The Bell's Two Hearted Ale versus Dale's
Bell's
Pale.
Two Hearted. That's a good one. Yeah.
And the other side, we would have Lagunitas IPA versus Voodoo Ranger IPA.
Oh, Drunken One's favorite, Voodoo Ranger.
And those two would meet in the semifinals, those four, and then we'd have a final round and maybe a consolation bracket. But I like the way the adjunct lager tournament turned out, the official one, that is. There.
You weren't a fan of the exhibition.
So unique.
We just let it go.
Oh, man.
But I'm glad the way it turned out, that we got to do it. I like the concept of having a little bit of a competition where people hold up the beers. I was shocked when 3 people held up Pabst Blue Ribbon.
I was too. I was watching that.
I was certain that Coors was going to win.
So was I.
And so that added a little bit of and there's been no live sports. It offers a little bit of competition. Plus, it's another way to look at beers that we've all drank 100 times. It's just when you drink them side by side, sometimes it reveals different things. And so I was pleased with that go. And might shift now more toward maybe doing an ale tournament. And then maybe get back to maybe something else, an ice beer, or you said Busch. To me, Busch would fit in with a budget Final Four for adjunct lagers. Maybe Busch, Rolling Rock, those beers.
That's true. That's a good point. I think Ron was saying because it's in the top 4 selling.
Yeah, that's true. But, I thought, and he would admit himself that it was more of a fair match to leave that out. Because it's closer to a light beer than it is.
Yeah.
So if you went strictly by sales, Busch is number 2. Busch would have been right in the final top 4.
It's number 2. Wow.
It's
William, I would like to try Busch Ice, and I haven't found that yet. And I need to look for it because I'm going to start trying to find ice beers to review. I like Busch beers. I've already tried the regular Busch. I just need to try Busch Light and Busch Ice, and I hope to try them one day.
I don't think I've ever had Busch Ice.
It does exist. I looked it up.
Mm.
One cold Busch.
Yeah, a bit like an innuendo here.
Yeah,
Looks like Bumpy's got
like there's a beer called Boxer. There's Boxer beer, and then there's Boxer Ice. And
what do you got, man?
That's a cooler version. That's all.
So
Bell of the
Too high.
it's just me.
Park.
Ooh,
Too high.
It's a saison that has raspberries and blueberries.
I think Voodoo Ranger is good.
Nice. All
I've
right.
had
What's
the
the
first
ABV
two,
on that?
the fourth one, so Voodoo Ranger.
5.8.
All right, so we got 2 sours, a saison, and a Heineken, and a Dale's Pale Ale, right?
And a homebrew. Not homebrew now, so yeah. Homebrew Stout. Heineken's gone now. It's all finished. Damn it. Yeah.
Lagunitas.
Lagunitas.
Now the Voodoo Ranger, I always liked the
Oh, we don't.
the Voodoo Ranger, the
Palette,
newer ones as compared to the IPA, like the
okay.
juicy one they have.
Palette one, yeah.
I think the Voodoo Ranger, the IPA itself, just the IPA. I don't think that was one of the best ones.
So
They
you
also
prefer
have
like
an
the
Imperial.
pale ones?
We have an Imperial IPA too, which is 9%.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
I'm a fan of the Juicy Haze. I like the American Haze. That was good. That Juicifer one was kind of okay. I don't even know if they still sell that one.
yeah, they've expanded the line a lot. You know, they come out with these.
Bell's has a double two-hearted as well.
Yeah, too hard, yeah.
So maybe eventually we can do like an Imperial or double IPA
Oh
tournament.
yeah, I mean, it's interesting. The possibility.
Hey,
Keep
Bumpy,
going, yeah.
have you ever brewed the homebrew version of that?
The Deviant Dale, which is the Imperial Dale's Pale Ale, I've had that one time, and it's not in my area anymore. I haven't seen it for years. The one time I had it, I loved that beer. That was.
Have you brewed the jet? Not jet black art. The
What do you think I am, drunken one?
The jet, the two hide. You brewed that?
What?
Oh, so I'll start again. There. Have you done the two hide homebrew version? Bumpy?
No,
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Lost in
because I've had
translation.
the regular two-hearted, and I was just kind of like, it was like a classic old school West Coast IPA.
So
Yeah,
you
like
never-
the Dale's Pale, I guess.
Yeah. I was expecting so much more out of it, but then I had to remember that this was brewed 20 years ago,
Right.
and it must have been all the rage back then because they're probably.
Yeah, you're not going to
out there.
brew something that
was
you don't like, are you?
I mean, it kind of grew on me. I was just disappointed at first because of everything that,
Yeah.
when you're drinking beers in the year 2000 and then you drink a recipe that was from 1990, it's like
2020, you mean?
kind of missing stuff. Yeah.
What were you expecting that it didn't deliver?
Hitting the liver. Yeah.
It was just a bitter, citrusy, piney beer. I thought it was going to be, I just thought just based off how much people were raving on it. I don't know. I was kind of
Disappointing.
it was during the time of the New England IPAs, the big, it's still going on, the New England IPA craze stuff. So it was I was just expecting more of a fruity bomb type deal out of it for some reason. I didn't know it was like a straight up West Coast IPA, It was just like I said, I'm a home brewer. And I was on the homebrew
you're looking
stuff,
for
and that was like the number one or number two clone recipe to brew was the Dale. You just saw it not the Dales, the Two Hearted. It was just everywhere. It was Two Hearted, and then it was like Moose Drool, Brown Ale.
Oh, come on, that's very.
Those are like two of the biggest hits that were on the must brew list as far as like homebrew recipes.
So
I've never had the Moose Drool, but I've had the
$7. Wow, for a small can. Wow. That must have been good ABV on that.
What?
Yesterday I saw a new beer, Bell's BBA Expedition Stout. It was $6.99 per 12-ounce bottle. That must have been a good ABV.
The Expedition Stout, I think that's like around
If it's
11%, something like that.
If it's a good beer, that's not a horrible price.
That's a good one, isn't it?
They have some 12 ounces that are like $15, $20. It really gets up there.
You have to think, like, these breweries have to make money on the beers they make. So, you got a lot of hops, not a lot of hops in that.
I was looking up that 120-minute IPA.
Dogfish.
Dogfish Head, yeah. That was like $15 for the 12 ounce.
Yeah, there's a lot of work goes into it, you know. So
You had that one, Bumpy?
Yeah.
What do you think about that price? Is it like pretty comparable?
you make it
I've
cheaper.
seen them for 4-packs. I don't know exactly what they would sell per single bottle. But I've seen them for 4-packs anywhere from, which is a much more reasonable price, $35 in the upwards of $43.
All right, so maybe they charge more if it's just a single.
Yeah.
Yeah, these brewers, they have to brew
Yeah.
certain beer that they have their higher profit margin on them to allow
Yeah,
them to brew
More
the
stuff they put in, they have to make
Yeah.
money.
I mean, if you have a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, you got to price that competitively because there's a lot of
Exactly.
competition. But if you come out with a limited edition, something you can charge a premium price to make it seem like you're getting something special. So there's a delicate balancing act with these companies.
There's a market for everything,
Right.
you know, so,
You make money off of some beers in order to be able to produce the other ones.
yeah.
That's just basic business 101. So, but it is a delicate balancing act. And that's why you see these, the limited editions, the more what people perceive as the more higher end craft beer. That allows them then to make the mainstream stuff and sell it at a reasonable price.
Exactly. Yeah.
It
Exactly.
benefits both the craft enthusiasts and the guys who just want the more mainstream beers. And so that's
So like market that for one thing, that for another thing.
right. You got to
Bring
make
them together. So, yeah.
and you have to be competitive in other markets.
Yeah.
I mean, like the pale, these your more mainline, the ones that they say these are the beers that keep the lights on in the plant, the ones that pay the bills,
Yeah.
and you have to make money in others where there's a more of a profit margin on it. Like for these products. But
What do you got there, Alex?
Yeah, to Aussie there. Yeah, the regular Expedition Stout I think is great. So I'm thinking the bourbon barrel aged one. Why wouldn't it be better, right? It's aged in bourbon barrels. That'd be better. But
True.
the Expedition Stout by itself is an exceptional beer, I think. So
Sorry, who's that by?
Bells.
Oh, Bells. Expedition. Okay. Oh, that's what Commerce is talking about. Ozzy's talking about.
is the exhibition flavored? Or is it just a stout? Does it have?
Well,
It's an imperial stout.
So is that like equivalent to
it's like a pretty hefty bodied imperial stout. It's got some real good. I'm gonna be pulling crap out of my behind right now because it's been a while. I think I did a tasting video on it. Probably didn't actually. Now that I think of it, but I believe it was like very sweet, chocolatey, and a little bit like coffee forward. It was kind of like chocolate and coffee type notes, robust type malt notes stuff coming through. It may have had a little bit of a bittering finish, if I can remember it correctly, but it was a great stout. I bought it because the Bear Patrol spoke so highly of it, so I was like, "Oh, cool!" I saw it on the shelf and I picked it up, and I was like, "Wow, this is really good."
Speaking of Beer Patrol, I haven't seen him on his channel lately.
Yeah, he took a few weeks off there, I think it was like 3 weeks off, and he came back. He did his 12 to 14 more beers that he put out or whatnot, and then it's been another couple of weeks since he's been on. But who knows? I've heard that he had a change in his like when he works and stuff. So I think his time at work has changed a bit, and who knows what else is going on.
Well, so he'll be back to his beer reviews. He just doesn't know when yet.
Who knows, Alex?
Yeah, who knows? As far as I know, I haven't heard anybody say that something horrible's happened. So.
Oh, he responded back to me on his last video. He did respond back to me, so he's obviously okay. But I have to read it, and I just obviously have trouble. I have to go check to his. I think his last video is when he did the beer with the green beer. I think that's when I did when I messaged him. I'm not sure. You'll have to go back there. But his last video was with the green beer. I think that
Yeah.
Was that a St. Patrick's Day video?
No.
no, because then that would have been a couple months ago. This was a week or two ago.
Before we wrap it up here,
I think Legendary Bumpy's checking into that.
Ronnie, what would you give your score on your beer?
I'm not blown away by it, but I like it. So I'm thinking it's pretty good. I'll give it a 90.
Right. A-. Right there at the A level. Okay. Alex, you had the cherry hibiscus. How
The cherry hibiscus, I think I would give that a 95. Almost world class because I like the flavor. I like the little bit of sourness. So I think I'm going to get into the sour beers because that's what it tastes like to me. It's a little sour, not too sour, but just perfect. It was sweet, a little sour, I think maybe.
It's tart.
It's tart. It was a very good beer. I will get it again. I'm looking forward to more of these beers from this brewery. I'm looking forward to more of the Back to the Future beers or more of that same brewery. And that's that. So it's a very good beer.
Bob, I'd be interested in, from a craft beer perspective, what's your Heineken? Give us the cliff notes of what a Heineken is.
Oh, this one here. Yeah, I haven't had Heineken for years. Like, normally in the UK, we get like these.
Well, Legendary.
Sorry.
Kevin, I'm surprised you didn't have drink Heineken for years because you're in the UK, for crying out loud.
Yeah, because I steered away because it's shit, right? But basically, it's changed. It's got, it's like you get these low ABVs, like 4%, Carlsberg, Carlin, Black Label, used to be called Black Label. And now these 5%, like you get. I tried it today. I normally drink Stella, which is 5% Stella Artois.
Good beer.
I would take Stella over Heineken myself.
Oh, Stella's a good beer.
Actually, they're both 5%, and they both got a similar flavour, you know. But yeah, and they're cheap. This is like a lot cheaper, so that's why I tried it today. I'd give it like out of 100, 80%. It's nothing fantastic, but it's 80%. It's a good beer. Good.
That would be
compared to like a 60%, like what I just mentioned.
Kevin, would you like Stellar better than that beer then?
No, about the same. Pretty much about the same. Not much difference, but it's not a craft lager or nothing, you know.
They're not craft beer, but they're delicious.
But my homebrew stout, 100% no. My homebrew, which I finished, I only kept it yesterday, so it's really early. I'll give it like an 80%. It needs to age.
4 out of 5, 80%.
Yeah, it needs to age another couple of weeks. So.
Which is not terrible.
Don't forget, Kevin.
It's all right.
Kevin, don't forget to throw that stout into my box.
Bumpy, what are you drinking right now?
You know what I mean? Kevin, you can let me what you know what I mean.
Right now, I'm drinking a fruited saison from Backyard Brewery. It's called Bell of the Barn. And the fruits that they put into this one, because I guess it's a rotating series. So the fruits that they added to this one are raspberry and blueberry. It's 5.8% ABV. It's a pretty beer.
Yeah, it looks nice.
It's kind of got like the raspberry kind of coloration to it. You definitely pick up and the aromas. It's got that kind of barnyardy, kind of damp wood, wet hay type aroma, with a little bit of a kind of more on the raspberry side of the fruits coming through the aroma. It has the smell of the tartness and the funkiness. Like I said, with the barnyard type deal. Flavors on it, same ordeal. You get that kind of damp wood, the kind of wet hay.
Wet hay.
Bumpy, I think that people call that the horse blanket.
You've been hanging out in the fucking backyard again.
Yeah, it's definitely got a barnyardy funkiness to it.
Sorry.
A slight bit of a metallic note in there in the flavor, which isn't very pleasant. And it goes along with like a bittering finish. There's a little bit of a raspberry. The blueberries don't really come through all that much in the flavor or in the aroma, but it does have a little bit of like a raspberry type note in there. But then, yeah, it's kind of like the finish on it. It's just got this kind of metallic bitterness.
Which ruins it.
Yeah, which ruins it. I mean, it kind of has a lot good going for it, but with the finish on it's not good. It's kind of it's very drying, crisp. It's very spritzy with the carbonation. So like to give this one a score, I'd probably be like maybe around like an 89 out of 100.
90. Nice.
Where do you go there, Ronnie? Where you opened?
89.
The same one. So this is how it's supposed to look when it's first poured.
You go, nice looking beer.
Pretty looking beer, right?
Yeah.
Bumpy, you said Belle of the Barn. Is that Belle like in Belle, like lady?
Beer.
Yes,
B-A-I-L.
I thought that was Belle. That's a little pun.
Right, let's go.
Belle of the Barn. But when you said about a metallic, was that something you first noticed at the outset of the sip, or something that you noticed?
It comes up tail end with the bitterness. It was I've aged this one I've had this beer for a week now, a little over a week. This is my last can of it. I tried to do a tasting, but it was like so fresh. I bought it the same day it was canned, and all it tasted like was metal. That's all I could taste. It was like, wow, this is horrible. I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna put a video out with it tasting like, because I was just like drinking. I'm just like, it's nasty. I'm gonna give it time, and it does taste a little bit better with some time, but that metallic note still does show up at the tail end.
Well, Bumpy, it shouldn't taste like the can if you got it from the same day as it's supposed to have been canned. I don't understand.
No, the metallic note doesn't come from that. It's something to do with probably something going on with either the fruits that they used or the yeast and the hops that they chose to use. There's just some type of like
combination.
The notes just aren't quite working together, and it comes off to me like I have a mouthful of pennies.
Yeah, once you get it, you'll always remember how much it changes. You always get that taste.
Yeah.
It seems like
That doesn't sound good at all. That doesn't sound like an 89.
Oh, Bumpy. No,
Like
pennies. That's not 89 to me.
Well, that's just in the tail end. I mean, the other flavors and stuff do come through nice. The aromas are pretty
we're good
for a saison. I like the barnyard funkiness. So
the horse blanket smell.
The horse blanket,
I don't
the wood.
Bumpy, you don't like the
goat shit. It's all good.
Bumpy, you like the barn farm funky. Right. You got the penny taste. Why would you want to drink that? That's nasty.
Oh no, I don't enjoy that. That's why this isn't like scored higher for me. That's why I'm not like this is like a 90 something. I'm like, no.
Yeah, that's true.
It's got a lot going for it. It's just the tail end. It's the bittering effect at the end where it tastes like metal. That's the major fault. That's the downfall.
Right, because beer
scores high on all the other on all the other things for me. You know, it's like it's got the flavors and the aromas that I do appreciate out of it. It's just got this one major fault, which is that bittering, metallic note. Yeah, I'm not gonna ding the whole beer and say this is shit because a lot of it tastes.
So you're pretty much
decent,
your beer in that one. It's a buttery, metallic taste.
Yeah, like my Coles, which tastes like butter. It's like, well, it's got a lot going for it. It's just got this one fault to it, which is
but probably, but you like the taste of butter. It's not tasting like pennies,
right?
Yeah, but not in the beer. Hey, John and Lee.
What's up, John and Lee?
The annihilator.
There you go, Ronnie. Appreciate you.
Waking up from a nap.
I'm about to go down for my nap.
Right. So
we'll all go for naps, and you'll
be eating a whole plate of pierogies earlier. I think he'll be drained out.
I hope so. I got to sleep because I got to get up in the next 6 hours.
Oh yeah, you got work. You got work tomorrow, and
What time do you get up?
the rest of the week is off for you.
I have my alarm set for 4:20. So, but by the time I actually probably fall asleep and all that stuff, yeah, be about 6 hours of sleep.
Wow.
So you don't have to be up in 6 hours from now, but you get 6 hours of sleep.
Bobby,
From right now, it's 6.5 hours. Is
Every
what I-
minute's getting less. Yeah.
Bobby, you need to drink a beer to relax you and make you go to sleep for all the
Yeah,
hours.
Try and get.
Up
Try and get.
time you go get up. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I like that answer, Bumpy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm not doing that. No. I'm not Ken or John and Ellie chugging beers. I don't blame you.
Come on, Johnny. Come on, William Bentley stream. Appreciate you.
Well, I think I'm gonna head off so I can just down this beer real quick and go get ready for bed. And,
You can down it quick on there.
You're gonna tease
thanks
us
for-
now, Bumpy. Stop the tease.
There you go. He's done it. There you go.
There you
All
go.
right.
Well, Bumpy, I hope you have an
yes,
excellent
we'll
day
see
at
you
work tomorrow and the rest of the week, which is Saturday and Sunday and Monday. And
Tuesday, Wednesday.
See you later.
Thursday.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Cut you
joining, Bumpy. Thanks for joining tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again, Willie. And it stinks that I couldn't come across the old Milwaukee.
Well, that's one thing we have no control over the beer distribution channel.
But I promise you,
Especially if it's distributed by Paps, huh?
Yeah.
Or Pat, yeah, that's Pat. They do their own thing.
but you guys never had trouble finding old Milwaukee. That's the
Well,
problem.
no. Well, that's the
Yeah,
thing is
well,
They never really tried.
they must have heard of our plan and
Yeah.
they said pull everything off the shelves.
Exactly. Screw that. Yeah.
Oh, Bumpy, you're a trip. Keep up the good work, my friend.
All right, well, cheers, everybody. Have a great
Cheers.
night.
Cheers.
Have a good weekend.
Thank God he's
You
not.
as well.
See you in 20 years.
Yes.
20
years from now. We'll be back to reality.
Yeah, back to reality. Yes, thank you.
Cheers, Bumpy.
Oh, forgive me, William. I have fun. Don't worry. I'm just being me.
We get a grade from Alex.
Oh yeah, he already had a grade with me when it comes to this beer. It's a 90. It's a very delicious beer.
It's a good looking artwork on that as well.
Heck yeah. I mean, I'm around Brandon and Trish and Bumpy too much, so what can
So
I?
have you graded that on both the artwork and the flavour of the beer, or just
The artwork's awesome. The artwork is amazing. I like.
Like,
I mean, you know what? You guys haven't I haven't done any reviews on these beers. I've only did it just to drink with Bumpy and whoever.
Yeah.
Obviously it's just me and Bumpy. I like this beer, and I'm going to get it again. I'm also going to try to get all their beers. It's free.
Where'd you get
Yeah.
Free Freeze Brewing from New
That's
Jersey.
it's New Jersey, yeah.
Yeah, so Kevin, you need to come back through here so you could try it. Well, come
Okay, I'll
through.
come from the UK. No worries.
Well,
But
you-
we can't get enough flights at the moment. so-
Kevin, there will be flights soon. I have a feeling because I see airplanes every day.
Yeah, they're probably the military, but yeah, that's all right. But, yeah.
I
Can't
don't
go with military, yeah.
No, I don't see military planes. I've seen civilian planes.
Oh, they are the cargo ones. Yeah.
Well, maybe the cargo's military, but they're
They're
civilian.
bringing your deliveries from Amazon all the time, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Amazon planes.
Exactly, Amazon plane.
Well, there is Amazon planes. Yes, there is Amazon planes because remember the movie Castaway? That was a good movie.
Oh yes.
Heck yeah. Yes, he got really sad at the end when the ball disappeared, but and his,
What was the ball's name?
I think Mr. Wilson.
Wilson, yes.
Kevin, where'd you go?
Exactly. That's like me now. I lost my dog. I'm just talking to a fucking wall now. Yeah, but,
Well, Kevin, you're not really talking to a wall if you're actually talking to Alfie the
he's
bot.
gone. He's gone, isn't he? But I did. It's my way of coping. I get,
He
Especially
may-
with lockdown.
He
Don't
may
you know, in like 12 weeks, I haven't been out for 12 weeks. I come back from America on the 12th of March, well, 13th of March, my birthday. Haven't been out since.
It's been 4 months,
Last
Kevin.
day I went out was the 13th of March, apart from putting my dog down to sleep. So,
Yeah, but in reality, Kevin, you haven't been out for 4 months.
3 months.
It's 12 weeks,
3 months, yeah.
but in reality, it's 4 months. 3 or
Well,
4.
actually, I was in Florida for 2 weeks. I was out every day there. It doesn't matter.
Yes, before the lockdown. Yes.
Yeah, so it's like gone from one extreme to the next. Yeah.
Well, Kevin, at least you got through with it, and you're good. You're a hero, and I appreciate
I'm
you.
not, right?
And you know what, Kevin? You haven't called me. I'm surprised you haven't hanged out with me on my private streams. You haven't done that in a while, at least for a couple of days.
100 days, yeah. 3
Well, yeah,
days.
I have to wait. I have to wait for another beer review. That's why I got to wait more beers to come in. Yeah,
I think
Yeah, they'll be coming probably in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, no, a few.
good. Awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
so.
Yeah.
John Neely, he's still in on the Smackdown, so you may be seeing this again. This was just a minor hiccup.
Hey, William, thanks for letting me.
Yeah, we'll wrap this up now.
Yes, well, thank you.
Well, no, we're still going to hang out, William, but I thank you for letting me join, my friend. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
cheers, William. Nice to come on here. Yeah.
But it
Cheers,
turned out
Will.
it was sort of a Frankenstein. I threw together what I had originally planned to do, then added an element to it.
But literally, no one's got the beer. That you
I mean,
want.
William, you got to understand, William. If you can't find the beer, it's not going to work. If you find the beer, you're good. I
But
mean,
I got to unveil the Smackdown. And,
right? You're Smackdown because you got the beers.
And
But I'm saying everybody else.
the hangout idea. What's ailing you? Doesn't seem like anything's ailing anybody right now with the weekend coming on. So that's all.
Only the COVID thing. Yeah.
I mean, yes, the COVID thing, but you know what, William? And even if we don't have the beers, you still have the beer. So no matter what, you still were able to do the Smackdown,
That's
even
right.
though. So
Two birds with one stone, as they
That's
say.
right. That's right. Alan.
yeah, it's a win-win situation in my opinion.
But I'd like to thank East JJ for joining tonight, and thank we had a lot of great live comments. We had a pretty steady stream of those, which is always good that people are interested in it. That's what it's all about for me. You create something that people are interested in, and that was good. So until
Hey
we
William,
time,
before you end the stream,
It's about
do the
quantity,
quotes about
not quality, not quantity.
so till we meet again.
Don't know where. Don't know.
No,
where.
but William, before you end,
Bottoms
William.
up, and don't
No,
spill the draw.
but no, William, before you end the stream, you should do the Buford stuff that you do with me. It's so funny.
Oh,
That
sure.
may be lost on 99.9% of the people. Like I said, we'll do a beer in a movie. We'll
Smoking the bandit.
definitely do that. And
No. Me and William joke around about Buford pasta.
so anyway, until next time, bottoms up,
Ooh.
and don't spill a drop.
Cheers, everybody. William's a hero.
Cheers, William. Cheers, drunken what? Drunk.
Have a
Yeah, I'm saying that. Cheers, everyone else.
So
Hey,
Cheers.
William, why